While It brought some much-needed life back to the box office after a disappointing summer, Darren Aronofsky's Mother is the first casualty of the fall after opening up to just $7.5 million. The hard-to-define film stars Jennifer Lawrence as the title character, wife to Javier Bardem's Him, as a woman who must deal with the increasing stress of unwanted visitors entering her once peaceful home. The film's vague logline has been a topic of discussion for months, and the movie became even more shrouded in mystery as confusing trailers and TV spots hit the airwaves. While Mother was as hard to track as it was to explain, no one expected the film to fall as far as it did. Let's take a look at why Mother has had trouble finding an audience. Critical division. While the Rotten Tomatoes score on Mother isn't terrible, critics were certainly divided over how good or bad Mother is. Some reviewers hailed the film for its visual brilliance, while others were left confused and frustrated, calling the pick pretentious and nonsensical.
I don't like that people boo. I'm not a masochist, but I want a reaction from people.
Although Aronofsky's movies have been widely respected, even if his best works are hard to watch twice, Mother's reviews indicated it might be hard to watch even once. Some accused the writer-director of trying to mix in too much allegory and extremism to the film to endure. Others thought it was bleak just for the sake of it. And almost everyone agreed that a screening of Mother is an intense, bewildering, and disturbing experience. Moviegoers obviously enjoyed the light thrill of seeing a movie like It, where the scares are comparatively wholesome. But audiences obviously weren't as interested in traveling down another of Aronofsky's existential wormholes this weekend. And even those who did see it were unimpressed. It was the opening night audience that earned the film the rare distinction of an F rating on CinemaScore. Mother isn't the first film from a director to get the dreaded rating. Steven Soderbergh's Solaris also holds that distinction, so some consider it a badge of honor. But it's still surprising to see a film with a director and actors of this caliber be so thoroughly docked by audiences. Mixed marketing. Given its difficult premise, almost no one goes into Mother really knowing what it's about in advance. Part of the reason for that is reviewers have had such a tough time explaining what happened even after seeing the movie. And despite Google searches for explanations spiking after the film's release, the results for such queries can be just as confusing as the movie itself. Audiences may often enjoy twisty films, but the biggest problem with Mother seems to be that no one can agree on the true meaning. Is this all just a cautionary tale on climate change? Is the title character really just Mother Earth who's being abused by Javier Bardem's God-Devil hybrid and all the terrible people that flock to him? Or is it a parable about the Bible's creation story, with Jennifer Lawrence's character as some kind of Eve? No one can be quite sure.
We are all living on this one planet with one mother who gave us life.
Given that Aronofsky's last movie, Noah, was based on the Bible and did well in the international box office, it might have seemed like a good idea to continue on the theological train. But the fact that no one's quite sure what Mother is trying to represent makes it a very difficult sell. Bait and switch. While Jennifer Lawrence's fans might have been shocked by seeing her ditch that defiant persona that has informed so much of her career so far, general audiences were probably more surprised by how little horror the movie contains. The original teasers for Mother made the film seem like a horror movie, which is what earned some serious interest prior to release. The film's trailer drew out some of the film's biggest scares, using the sounds of a ticking clock to underscore what seemed to be a psychologically focused haunted house movie. Even Aronofsky himself insisted it was meant to be a scare.
It began very much with wanting to return to the horror genre I did in Black Swan.
However, in the end, that genre identification effort backfired because Mother is definitely not your usual Halloween fare. Instead, the movie delves into the human psyche, albeit with some very freaky imagery. While those who were familiar with Aronofsky's prior work might not have been surprised by that, those who were just following the cues left in the film's marketing were likely fairly turned off by what they saw. Stiff competition. Choosing the perfect release date can be all important to a film's success, and studios will occasionally shift around titles based on what other companies are scheduling. This was the case with Mother, which saw its planned October release moved up a month to avoid competing with Happy Death Day. And while that might have saved them from going up against that movie's crowd, it did end up pitting the pick against Stephen King's It, which defied all expectations at the box office and continued to draw in audiences for its second weekend. Rather than trying out something they didn't understand and no one seemed to like, moviegoers seemed to take the safe bet for their weekend thrills by hitting up It, which had a lot more word-of-mouth buzz. Wide release washout. Despite the big stars attached, Mother is ultimately an art house film, and one that really isn't designed for a wide audience. Paramount Pictures might have been looking at the potential dollar signs when putting Mother out to more than 2,300 theaters right away, but in hindsight, it might have fared better by seeking a limited release first. The strategy to put a niche film on a limited theatrical run first before expanding was exactly what worked for Aronofsky's Black Swan, which was similarly eerie and stirred up its fair share of audience confusion at the end too. But because of the cultural must-see moment that was produced by Natalie Portman's performance in The Pick, enough buzz justified getting it into more theaters, and the movie turned a nice profit as a result. Perhaps a slower rollout could have saved Mother from being lashed at by audiences right away to kill any momentum the movie might have earned by creating such a conversation among critics. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.